Pesi Gordon, thank you so much for coming in to have this conversation. You lost your husband in battle, Naftali, December 7th, 2023. And you're a speech therapist, a mother of 2 beautiful children, and just an incredible person. So thank you for making the time.
Thank you.
Take us back to that terrible moment. What happened? Where were you? What was going through your mind? How did it happen?
Well, it was the first night of candlelighting of Hanukkah. I was actually at my mother-in-law's house. My husband's whole family were there. We were all there except for him. We had lit candles. We had just sat down to a really nice meal that my mother-in-law made. And then there was a knock on the door. I was like so not expecting what was coming that I was like really not concerned by that knock. And just continued tending to my daughters and giving them food. And like I heard a bit of shouting like by the door, and I felt like, oh, something must have been going on like with the neighbors or something. But then like I looked up and I saw my sisters-in-law and my mother-in-law like beside themselves. And at that same moment, I saw the soldiers walking towards me and saying like, "Where's Pesi? Is Pesi here?" And so I understood at that point. There was like half a second where I looked at them and I tried to think, is he injured? But you could tell on their face that no.
What happened next?
Just like a million thoughts running through my mind. I always feel that like I could talk for like days about all the thoughts that went through my mind in those few seconds, and I still wouldn't say it all. It's just like so much all at once. But
what were some of those thoughts? What runs through your mind?
Well, I can tell a few. Like one of them was like, well, what did you expect? Like you let him go to this dangerous battle, and also, well, it was too good to be true. He was such a wonderful husband and father, like too good to continue. And also like a sense of betrayal by the world. Like, what? I've been fooled. Like what I thought was gonna be like the trajectory of my life is not at all. It was just like Naftali was just a very, very short chapter, like a little blink in my lifetime. Like I really felt like I was like the world fooled me. Like reality tricked me. And also at the same time, I was like telling my girls who were like on me at those moments, they like get stressed every time there's a knock on the door. So from when there was a knock, pretty much they were like on top of me. So they're like clinging to me, and I was just telling them, we're gonna be okay, we're gonna be okay, we're gonna be okay. And also thinking to myself, like those messages that I sent Naftali on WhatsApp, like they're never gonna have 2 blue ticks. And like a sense of like, how did he not tell me? Something huge happened. How did he not tell me that he was killed? Yeah, that's just a few of them. So much running through my mind.
You've got your 2 daughters. You're telling them everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. Is that just something you're saying as a mom? Do you believe it at that moment?
Yeah, I was telling it also to myself. Like, I was trying to calm myself and them at the same time. And yeah, I think I did believe it at the moment. Like, it's like a feeling of like, I know that like hell is falling upon us right now, and like, just like everything just is collapsing right now, and it's gonna be a really bad time. Bad times are ahead of us. But like, we'll be okay.
And what happens next?
They come towards me, the soldiers, and they start saying like, well, they need to like rattle off the line that they're supposed to say, which was actually weird. They said, "Kechol hanireh," like
as it appears,
your husband Naftali Gordon has been killed in battle. I'm like, but what does that mean? What does that mean? As it appears, like, is here? Isn't?
Did you say that to them?
Yeah. And what happened was his tank was hit by RPG, I think, some kind of strong missile, some kind of big missile, and it was on fire as we were speaking. Like when they came to tell us, it was still on fire, having been on fire for several hours. And so they wanted to get to us before rumors would reach us. So they came to tell us before there was actually...
absolute confirmation.
Yeah, like before they had taken them out, before they got into the tank. So, but it took us about, 12 more hours to understand what the story was.
Was that hard? Was there a part of you saying maybe he's still alive? Or did you know?
It was a weird way for them to say it. But like when I tried to say, like, is there a chance he's alive? Like I tried to understand. They weren't giving us any information, but I understood that it's not like they wouldn't come and tell me he's probably been killed if they're not sure of it. So no.
And then where did you go to sleep that night? You have all these arrangements to make. There's a funeral coming up. How does it proceed?
So we stayed there at my in-laws' house for, I don't know how long. You don't really have a sense of time in these kind of times. Maybe like 2 hours. My siblings started coming over. My sister-in-law called them to say, you should come.
Is that what you wanted at that time? Was it nice that everyone was around, that your family came?
It was good that my siblings came, yeah. And I immediately wanted to like let everybody know. I was asking them to like call our best friends and tell them. And like I wanted people to know, even though like the rest of Naftali's family were waiting for complete confirmation before actually spreading the word. But I felt like I needed people with me, close people. Then we tried, like, it was very important for me to take the girls out of the living room where we were, like out of the dining room, to some other environment, because I like really didn't want them to be where we were with like all their happy, close family screaming and crying, and like terrible experience, terrible trauma, I assume. And I quickly like took them out to the porch outside. We stayed there for a while. Then after a bit, like, we need to go home, get them ready for bed.
You did that?
Yeah.
Did anyone come with you?
Yeah, I think my sister and like my other siblings also met us there at my house. And yeah, in general, in the following like week and a half.
Did you explain to them then that they're...
Oh, right. So then the one thing I asked of the soldiers, like the representatives of the army who come to give you the news, they ask you like, what can we do for you? What do you need? And I just wanted like some psychologist to come and give me some guidance as to how I tell my daughters, what do I tell them? They were like, they understood something obviously bad happened, and they also understood it had to do with Naftali, because they were like, both of them were like here with their heads under my arms and like crying Abba, which is what they called Naftali, Abba. So eventually a psychologist did come, and she just told me like, just tell them what happened. Tell them the truth. So I did.
What did you say?
I told them that Abba was killed, which means he can't come back, even though he really, really wanted to come back to us, and he loved us so much. He really, really wanted to come back home, but he's not going to come home. Something along those lines.
How did they react in that moment?
I don't remember like a strong reaction. I think they
did
not understand. They were at the time 1 year and 9 months and 3.5. So yeah, I don't think they could really understand it. It's in those ages, I think it's like a long process of understanding.
They understand now?
You know, every period of time that goes by, they understand a bit more. Still, sometimes I'll have like questions that make me think like, wait, I thought you understood that he's killed, he's not coming back. But no, they don't.
Because they have this vivid memory, and there's almost a sense maybe he'll come in.
I think because it's really hard to grasp what the meaning of death. I mean, also for us, I don't know if I fully understand. And so for little kids, yeah, I think they're just not capable really of understanding like the
finality.
The finality of it, yeah.
What do you understand? Do you believe his soul is somewhere? Do you feel his presence ever?
Yeah, I do believe his soul is somewhere. And that's like something that really keeps me going, because I don't believe that this world is everything that there is. So I totally hold strongly into my belief that there is something after, and that Naftali is hopefully in a good place, because I really hope he's getting what he deserves in some...
After what he did, he's in the best of the best, there's no question.
Yeah, after what he did at the end of his life, and after what he did his whole life. Yeah. And I do always try to believe that, yeah, he's somewhere, and at some point we'll reunite. Do I feel his presence? It's hard to know whether I'm like convincing myself, imagining it. I mean, obviously, I have conversations with him. I hear his answers. I don't know if it's just, me.
Is this in your mind?
In my
or is it
mind,
verbally?
yeah.
And
In
you
my mind.
hear his answers.
I know what his answers are usually. And obviously, I could tell myself, like, okay, that's you filling in what you think he would answer. I don't know. I hope.
Why did you fall in love with him? What made him special?
I don't know. It's hard to tell. Like from the beginning, I just liked it. Like there was good chemistry. I loved his voice. I loved the way he smelled, like his scent. It just gave me a feeling of home. Like there was something really like stable about him. Very, very stable, and 100% trustworthy. Like you could rely on him. Eyes closed. You could rely on him for anything. And he was fun, and like fun was something that like he was important to him. Like I remember when we were dating, and like I was like all stressed about moving forward with our relationship, and like I don't know, stressed about settling down and stuff. And I liked that he didn't just tell me like we'll be happy together. I loved that he told me we'll have fun together. Yeah, and he was just very calm. He was good at like relaxing me, calming me.
I'm wondering what it's like now, meaning the fun, the memories, everything will be there forever. But the stability, the always being there for you, the relaxing you, those things aren't. Do you feel like he gave you part of that gift that you can take it on your own? How do you feel like in moving forward without that?
I try to like tell myself it's within me a bit of it is already embedded in me, so I have it like for the rest of my life. I think like from the first few moments I was like, well, he left me his family, and his family he was like a lot like his family in many ways, and they're also like fun loving and stable. And like that's like I feel like I kind of like try and get from them a bit of that. And yeah, I mean, I try to, for example, like, part of the things I'll talk with him in my mind about, like his answers will be kind of like calming and relaxing, and like his answers would be if he were alive. Like, but yeah, I mean, the stability is gone. And yeah, in general, I think that's maybe part of why it's so hard for me to believe that like it's over, he's gone, he's not coming back, is because he was so trustworthy. Like he never ever let me down. And like him being killed in the war, not coming back from the war is very not like him. Doesn't suit him. I know he did everything he could to stay alive. Like he was careful, and as much as he could be in a dangerous battlefield.
So how do you cope now? Like, is it therapy? Are there friends, family? Do you like when people, reach out to you to see how you're doing? Is that annoying? A lot of people around, on the one hand are inspired by you, on the other hand want to help, on the other hand don't want to be annoying. Well, sort of what do you need, and what advice would you give to people around that?
First of all, I think like there's no one answer, because people are so different, and also widows are so different, just like, other people. And what is good for one person is maybe really annoying to another. I can just say what suits me. Yeah, I do appreciate when people reach out. I personally find it hard asking for help, so I prefer it if like help is pretty much like just put there and I just need to take it, because I really don't like asking for help.
What kind of help do you like to be offered? Is it like to help give your kids a ride, to give you a meal? Is it to just like, let's chat, or what is the kind of help that helps?
Well, my kids are little, so it's really tricky helping me with them, because they don't let me go easily. They won't go easily with someone else. But like, yeah, offering to come play with them, babysitting, cooked meals. For a long time, I got cooked meals like a few times a week from the community, which was very helpful.
Would that be still helpful now?
Possibly. I mean, it's really hard for me to know. Like even like from one day to the next, I could like
One day
feel
yes, one day
differently
no.
about the things. I mean, I at a certain point felt that I want to go back. Like if I want to feel a little bit of stability, a little bit of normalcy, I need to like be in charge of like cooking and of the food. But I do think that like once in a while it would be nice.
What about random people? Like did random people come to the Shiva house? Did random people reach out? Is that nice? Is that not nice for you? I know it's a personal thing.
Yeah, for me it was nice. It felt nice knowing that that the rest of our nation is with us. We're with them in their thoughts, and that they care, and that they think about us. They're aware of the prices that some people have paid, of the sacrifices.
You said the word widow. When I heard it from your mouth, it was a heavy word for me. I know in the Torah it talks about an almanah, someone that is in the space. And you imagine, in the way it should be, that widows are in their 70s, 80s, 90s, not in their 20s or 30s. What does that word mean to you? What did it mean to you previously, and what does it mean now?
I mean, now it's a word that's just like very regular for me. It's part of my identity now, unfortunately. I know that for other people who are not widows, it's a very heavy word, and sometimes like people cringe when they hear it. They don't like, oh, don't use that like that bad word, but that's reality. Like you can't sugarcoat it. What did it used to mean to me? Yeah, like, a 90-year-old or hopefully something like that. But it's changed in the past year and a half. We've seen so many widows in their 20s.
Have you got to know other widows that are young? Have you made friends with any of them? Is that helpful? Is there a sense of community?
Yeah, it's very helpful. I mean, we always say, like, on the one hand, it's so upsetting that there's such a variety of fresh widows from the war, and like just take your pick of what kind of style of friend you want. It's terrible. But there is a lot of truth in the saying, Sarat Rabim Chatzi Nechama.
That the distress of the masses is half the comfort.
Yeah. And yeah, I find that there's a lot of truth in there. Like
it really is shared.
Comforting. It really is comforting that I'm not alone in it. Like even in my neighborhood, like in walking distance from me, there are two more young widows from the war, and we have become very close. And yeah, it's very comforting. Like often I'll feel like they're really the ones that I can talk about what's going on in life right now. That like they understand, whereas other people don't.
So tell us a bit about Naftali's story. Where did he grow up? What was he doing?
He was born in the States. He made Aliyah, moved to Israel when he was a year and a half old with his family. They settled down in Chashmonaim. They started out in Ramot, actually, which is where I grew up. So like once we met, we realized that like our sisters used to be friends, our families knew each other and stuff. We went to the same daycare, just 1 year apart. I like those little anecdotes. We met on a dating website though, despite like this history. I met him when he was finishing his degree in physiotherapy. So yeah, he was working as a physiotherapist. He was very talented. He really liked his job. He really liked the field, and he was good at it. Appreciated by his patients, appreciated by his colleagues. He was very family oriented, and also a very devoted friend. And he just really fit perfectly into like the family life. Like we both were like totally in the phase of raising toddlers, and like he was a very, very involved father. He would come home, he would spend every afternoon and evening at home with us, except for once a week he needed to work late, and that was like a really hard day for me. Because all the rest of the week he was home with us. He was fun-loving, he was happy, he was a happy person generally, and calm. His calmness was really pleasant. He was easy to talk to. I liked his silly sense of humor. And very like light. There was something very light about him. He was always what we call like zorem, like always game for whatever. Like whatever I felt like doing, he was always up for it.
What is a message that he would want the Jewish people to hear today? What are the things that, you know, he would really want us to learn or to know? What would he be telling us all?
In general, during the war, we didn't really talk about heavy stuff with each other. Like we didn't get to see each other much during the 2 months that he was in the like fighting in the war. And when we did, we tried to like protect each other, to like not talk about hard stuff, not complain too much. But there was one time where like there were like a couple of times where we talked a little bit about like the bigger picture about this war, and I know that the way he saw it, like we were going into this war with all its extreme difficulty and everything that it was taking from us, when the goal was to make things better here. We really both had this hope that this war would be a game changer. Like finally it would be safer to live here. Like our kids could grow up feeling safer and calmer just growing up in Israel. And he was willing to give up his life and to not give our enemies everything they wanted, to not encourage them to continue doing what they've been doing to us for years and years, for as far as I can remember. He believed that, we both believed that this is the only place we have to live. Like we tried living in other countries, it didn't work. For the Jewish people to settle down for generations in a different place. It didn't work. This is the only home we have. And he was willing to give up his life to make life here good and safe for the Jewish people.
Does that give you strength to continue to live and build and raise your daughters here in that sense?
Yeah, it gives me a lot of strength knowing that Naftali was killed, like doing, the way I see it, the biggest mitzvah, the most important and biggest deed a person could do. And I would tell him that, like in our little like WhatsApp text that we would send each other, like before he would go into battle and stuff. Like I felt and he felt that he was doing the most important thing. We didn't have doubts about it, which helps, you know, in the aftermath, knowing that I don't think we would have done it differently.
And what would your message be?
That it seems that our generation happened to find ourselves in this historic time where it's up to us we have a chance to make a change, to make things better for the Jewish people, and to really give it our all to build our lives here in a safer way, like so we can live here without always being in danger and scared. And that we really need to work hard to live up to that. And also, we need to work really hard to live up to, like, to be worthy of the lives of so many really good people, like the best people who gave up their lives so that we could continue living here and make our lives worth it, like enjoy, have fun, and be good.
Pesi, this isn't the first time you've dealt with grief. It's not the first time that you've lost someone for living in Israel. Your sister, Malki, what was her story? What happened with her?
She was 15 and a half years old in 2001. And one summer afternoon, she was with her friend in a pizzeria, Sparrow, in the center of Jerusalem, and she was killed there in a pigua.
Was that grief different? What is that experience? Where does she sit, in that continuum for you?
It's different for sure. I was a kid. I was about 9 when she was killed. Yeah, it's for sure different. But I did feel that, like, when I was faced again with such loss, when Naftali was killed, I felt like I came to it with like a little bit of experience, despite it being totally different. I mean, with Naftali, it's like my partner for life, my like part of my heart was like torn away from me, and then like my home, and it's different. But I did feel like I came to it with a bit more experience and like a bit more of an idea of maybe like how I do want my home to continue being like a happy home for my girls. Happy, functional.
I remember I'm Australian. Malki was Australian, and that's what we all remember in 2001, the Sparrow Pizza bombing. What are the memories for you of Malki? It's decades past, but...
Yeah, well, luckily I have a good memory. I remember my childhood, so I do remember a lot of Malki, which I'm thankful for. She was a really good sister. She was really sweet. She was 7 years older than me. Sometimes I'd get to like go with her to her social engagements or like to her youth group, or she would like sometimes take me with her little sister. She would sometimes like around my birthday, she would like leave a present for me, like a surprise on my pillow, and she would make like yummy food for us. Like she was an involved sister, even though she was a very busy teenager. Like she was often out of the house, like in youth groups or with friends and like go camping with them. But when she was home, I would like, the house was like lighter, and I was always excited for her to come home.
Do you ever feel, why me? Why did I lose my sister and my husband? Or do you ever feel, does this challenge your faith at all, or it doesn't?
I feel like the only way for me to deal with it is for it to strengthen my faith, like to get stronger with my faith, because otherwise I just don't see how you can like deal with this world. And, you know, when things get hard, how do you deal with it if you don't have faith? I don't know.
How do you deal with it with faith? What does that mean?
I really see it as like there's a much bigger picture that I don't see. And this is not the end of the road. Like when someone dies here in this world, I don't think that's the end, because I just don't see how it could be. It just makes no sense to me. So yeah, I feel like this is just like a little, like a posdo, like a corridor on the way to more, to some continuation. And do I think why me? I mean, honestly, I don't think I don't feel that way, because I guess like you could say like why anyone? Yeah, I mean, you don't expect lightning to hit twice. But I guess it did.
Should never hit again for anyone.
Yeah.
I'm really blown away by your sense of history. The fact that you know that we're living in a historic time. Your husband passed away in Hanukkah.
Yeah.
Did the people in the Hashmonaim time, your husband came from Hashmonaim?
Yeah.
Did they know that they were making history? Did they know that, you know, so many decades, centuries, millennia, forever, hopefully later, people would be lighting these candles to remember what they were part of and creating? And, you know, to think of your husband as one of those people that will go down in history as someone that gave his life to protect and to make sure that we could grow up here. I find it hard, but this video will be watched in hundreds of years' time by people we never know. And they'll be looking at you as a hero. I look at you now as a hero. And I think that sense of history in the present is something we forget. And I'm listening to you and I'm trying to remind myself that there's something so much bigger going on. But to have this role in that bigger thing is what not just changes lives, it's what writes history. So thank you. You should never have had to go through what you did. Your family shouldn't have. And I feel bad, not just for you, I feel bad for the world that we lost such a beautiful human being, such a special person. But gratitude is not a word that can encompass what we feel. Empathy is not a word that can encompass what we try to show. But your resolve, your passion, your hope is truly inspiring. So thank you so much.
Thank you for the opportunity. Naftali
is no longer physically with us. Do you believe that there's any way that he still is with us or doing something for us?
Yeah. I really do believe that wherever he is, he's doing whatever he can. I'm confident that he's doing whatever he can to help us, to help me and the girls. I'll sometimes even I try not to I don't know, bother him too much and be like, take care of us and stuff. But when I really need some help with something with the girls, I have confidence that if he can, he'll do whatever he can to, whatever is in his hands to help us. And so sometimes I do ask him I need you here.
Well, the Kabbalah talks about a melitz, yosher, and different agents that can help. And it's not just a physical world we see, there's definitely more. The fact that you can sense it shows the depth of you. But we needed him fighting for us in the living, and there's something comforting to know that he's up there with Hashem and fighting for us. Yehi zichro baruch, may his memory be for a blessing.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you.